months, even years, I've been wanting to start my own YouTube channel to talk about what fascinates me most, philosophy. Today, I'm finally introducing you to the real Spinoza, who he was, why he shocked his time, and the radical way he rethinks freedom. It's going to be lively, honest, and practical. No fluff. Baruch Spinoza was a 17th century thinker of Portuguese Jewish origin who settled in the Netherlands. He was excommunicated by his community and faced violent hostility for his ideas. He published his masterwork, The Ethics, only after his death in 1677 because he knew how dangerous some truths sounded in his era. Spinoza didn't mince words. His aim was total, to explain God, nature, mind, and body as a single, unified system. That ambition makes him hard to summarize. So this video is an introduction, the parts you need to understand his monism, why he denies the usual idea of free will, and why, paradoxically, understanding causality is the key to true freedom. Descartes set the stage for modern philosophy by splitting reality into two realms, mind and matter. For Descartes, the mind thinks and the body extends. There's a gap between the two. Spinoza refuses that gap. For him, there is only one substance, call it God or nature, and what we call mind and body are simply two attributes, two ways that the same reality appears. This move from dualism to monism is seismic. It means you can't treat thoughts and physical events as separate causal worlds. They're two expressions of the same order. To make this concrete, think of cannabis. Smoking changes how you think, your consciousness, your associations, your perceptions. It also changes how your body moves, how energy flows through your muscles. The mental and the physical shift together. One alteration is not in the mind, while the other is in the body. They are two sides of the same process. That's why commentators call Spinoza a parallelist. The order of ideas mirrors the order of things. He writes that the order and connection of ideas is the same as the order and connection of things. Know the order, and you know the cause. If mind and body are one, what happens to free will? Descartes made free will fundamental. The soul can decide independently of matter. Spinoza says that picture is an illusion. We feel like authors of our actions because we're conscious of making choices, but we're usually ignorant of the long causal chains that produced the desire or decision. You feel you chose the yogurt in the fridge because you're aware of the movement from your couch to the kitchen. You're not aware of the advertisement you saw, the habit you formed, the hormonal states and memories that nudged you. Our awareness is shallow. The causes are often invisible. Imagine a stone you throw. If that stone suddenly had consciousness, it would believe it chose its path. It would feel like the cause of its motion. We're the same when it comes to our acts and thoughts. We experience movement and assume authorship while ignoring the external forces and histories that moved us. That illusion of self-causation is the source of the modern belief in free will. For Spinoza, free will is an illusion insofar as we imagine ourselves uncaused initiators in a world of causes. This is determinism. Every event follows from prior causes. Every cause produces an effect that becomes the cause of another effect, endlessly. That fridge yogurt, that college major, that angry reply you sent, each is the result of innumerable prior influences. A student chooses biology rather than law. It looks like a free decision, but the choice may trace back to parental conversations, childhood experiences, affinities planted early on. We live as if a choice springs from nowhere, but it never does. If you hear that and panic, wondering whether Spinoza reduces humans to mere rocks, pause. Spinoza's ethics is not a surrender to impotence. It is a program for empowerment. If everything is caused, then understanding the causes is the root out of being blindly moved by them. That's why Spinoza called his book Ethics, because the ethical project requires knowing what determines us. If we only describe the chain of causes without aiming to change how we act, we'd be doing ontology, not ethics. Ethics implies possibility of transformation. Reason, for Spinoza, is the mind's capacity to see and understand the causes that affect us, the passions, the emotions, the affects that sweep us along. Passions are feelings that happen to us: fear, jealousy, anxiety. They are not chosen, they arrive. When you're afraid because your partner is late, that fear doesn't help you know what's actually going on. It just causes suffering. Understanding the cause of the fear, ignorance about what happened, the tendency to imagine worst outcomes, dissolves the passion. Reason exposes the chain and weakens the grip of that passion. This is not stoic resignation. It's not fatalism. The point is practical. When you map the causes of your anger, your craving, your anxiety, the emotion loses intensity. You start to act from a different place, a place Spinoza calls joy, but not in the fleeting sense. Joy, for him, is a stable state of increased power to act that comes from understanding. Acting from joy means your actions follow from knowledge of the causes, not from blind reactive impulses. That is freedom. Freedom, then, is not the power to suspend cause and effect. You're not free by being uncaused, and that's nonsense. You're free because you understand the causal web that shapes you, and that understanding lets you align your actions with reason rather than passion. You can't make 2 + 2 = 5. You can't stop gravity. You can't undo how you were raised. But you can learn how those facts shape you. You can accept them without suffering. You can act with clarity. To accept the limits of reality isn't humiliation. It lightens you. Knowing the rules of the world widens your space of effective choice. So practice this. Notice a compulsive reaction. Trace its near causes, then trace further back. Ask what events, beliefs, habits, bodily states created this effect. When you grasp even a part of the chain, the passion wanes. You'll feel the difference between reacting and responding. You'll feel the slow rise of what Spinoza calls joy, the rational joy of an empowered being. Spinoza's philosophy is demanding because it asks you to do mental work, to cultivate reason, to study your emotions, to refuse the easy story that you are the uncaused center of your life. But it's also liberating. The more you understand, the less you're imprisoned by blind forces. Freedom is not the absence of cause. It's the presence of understanding. If you want a practical path forward, train attention, name your affects, ask why now, and seek the chain of causes. Practice accepting what is, not as defeat, but as clarity. Let reason dissolve what enslaves you, and watch how your life shifts from reactive to deliberate, from suffering to a steadier joy. Thank you.